to the Gamegasm podcast. We put the O in radio. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the show. My name is Jeremy.
O'Brien is the lick, Gamegasm's the click.
Can't get enough of this gangster shit.
This vidgy shit.
Nice. I'm Andrew. What's up, guys?
Hey, and welcome to the Gamegasm podcast. It's been 2 weeks. We haven't done an episode in a week.
We missed you.
We did.
I missed you.
We brainstormed. We wanted to make sure that we thought that the podcast was going the proper direction, and for the most part, we thought, yeah, it's pretty good.
It's fucking amazing.
It's the best thing in the entire world.
We
so if you don't like it, fuck off.
We almost fired O'Brien. He's an asshole.
I am. I can't help it.
But then that's why we brought him back, because he fills that spot for us.
He fills that asshole.
Oh,
you know,
come on.
Sometimes you got to mix it
I want
up.
to put a rim shot in there somewhere.
Rim.
I was waiting for a rim shot. Nobody stepped up to
We're
the
taking the
plate.
high road. High road.
We've matured.
Yeah.
We've matured.
Over the last
you
2
are
weeks.
fucking holding us back. It's your immaturity. It's
Maybe
we're
I should
trying
be
to be
fired.
adult.
At
Maybe.
least by the age of 30 for almost all of us here, that we're so mature.
We're still 14.
This intro is basically dick and ass jokes, I've noticed.
Only the last, 6 or 7 episodes.
Only the last
All of
entire podcast.
So what you're saying is the highlight of all the podcasts.
Yes.
That is the first, 5 minutes.
We got to draw your attention in, and what better way to do it than talk about penises?
Yeah. So I was like, wait a minute, is there a better way?
No?
No, there's
No.
not.
No.
Because you're like,
Concrete.
what am I listening to today? Oh, dicks.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, it is the Gamegasm podcast. We're going to talk about one of the two.
Floppy wieners. We floppy. My wife and I watched that episode of South Park. You know, did you see that? The one with George R. R. Martin. They're doing a joke because there's nothing.
Wieners, floppy
Wieners.
wieners.
Oh, I
Because
haven't
it's nothing
seen
but
the,
wieners essentially in the Game of Thrones, and they're making his music, and his house is nothing but essentially penises everywhere.
That's awesome. I've seen the first episode in the trilogy, I guess, and then I haven't seen the second and third yet. So
It's pretty funny
I
when
didn't
they
do
read
that.
them.
The whole thing's good. The whole
Floppy
trilogy.
wieners.
Which is so funny because there are wieners but there's not that many wieners to make a wiener
I will tell you
song.
this, for your average HBO show, the prison show had less wiener than Game of Thrones.
Oz
Oz had less wiener.
Oh, there's no way.
I don't know, man.
No way. No way.
We should go back and watch and count all the wieners.
I'm okay with
You
that.
can just Google it. I'm sure someone's got the wiener count of Oz.
Oz wiener count.
So somebody Google Oz wiener count, assuming you're 18, obviously.
Yeah.
Oz wiener
Don't
count.
tell your mom that. Andrew told me to look at the wieners.
I've told. Never mind. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. I'm gonna. Nope.
Okay, mailbag.
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 Oh,
Before we get fucking arrested here.
Yes. Okay, got a couple rapid fire ones, a couple more in-depth ones. First one, we got Sentinel Septum.
Sentinel Septum.
up, dude?
Whatever.
Is that like Uriel Septum's brother?
I don't know. Maybe it's like sepsis, is an infection. He wants to know, do we like Fire Emblem? What do we think of it? Because it's a game that we would think to like, but we never mentioned it.
It's not a game that is always on the top of my mind when I think of RPGs, but I had fun with it.
See, I really like Fire Emblem. We played
played a little bit. I didn't play much with you.
I thought we played a pretty good amount of the one that we played from Game Boy Advance.
No, we played like the first couple missions, I think, and just kind of end up just falling to the wayside for no reason. But
I want to throw this out here. If you say anything about a handheld game, I've never played it.
Well, we did the adapter
on the GameCube. You know, I had the adapter on the bottom where you could play the GameCube or the Game Boy Advance games. I have the one for Wii. I played through that one. I love it. I actually really like. To me, it's like we always talk about Shining Force. In some ways, oh god, it could be blasphemy. Almost like it a little more because I find it to be a little bit more challenging, a little more tactical.
Right.
And granted, the story. I mean, it's not hard to be better than Shining Force.
Shining Force's story has never been its Shining Force.
No, so I actually really like Fire Emblem. I don't know. I guess we don't mention it because Fire Emblem, I think, is a newer series.
Yeah, and I thought of Breath of Fire when you said Fire Emblem. I'm like, Breath of Fire? I actually played some of those older games.
That's
but
a good game.
Fire Emblem I didn't really play a whole lot of, so.
Yeah.
But that's why they're a Septum Kid. We haven't played a lot of.
Septum Kid.
That's what you're now named. Skull King.
Again,
oh, imagine that.
He's like the all-star.
Yeah, I've
just
decided as long as he brings out the one good one every week, he's going to be a staple.
We're just going to make
I dig me some Skull King.
We're just going to make Skull King section.
Pretty much.
He's like in a subsection of the mailbag.
Yeah.
Skulking in our mailbag, finding our questions.
He just likes our sack so much.
He does. He loves
He
the
could
sack.
just become the left testicle of our sack.
I jump in stream. The only person says, hey, Skull King.
Skull King.
Thanks, Skull
Nice.
King. Which, by the way, talking to Annie or Goob today, apparently, for some reason, since you always talk to Goob, they think that he is me.
Oh, no.
My name is Goobkill.
This is not Goobkill.
Not at all.
Goobkill is Andy, who we've also mentioned in the podcast multiple times.
I would come up with a better name than that.
And he was here on the 24-hour stream.
Yes. Goob was the big ginger behind me in the 24-hour live stream.
Yes.
Well, Brian was not there.
No, I'm not a ginger.
No. Kind of.
You're close.
Strawberry blondish.
Yeah. My son is a ginger, but I am not a ginger.
Your beard grows in red.
It does. It does. I'm kind of tricone. It's that Irish.
So the carpet doesn't match the drapes, is what you're saying.
No, baby, it does. Carpet haven't already seen that anyway.
The carpet doesn't match the pubes.
But no. If you see me on there, it would be Boru or some derivation of there. So his interesting question, he's like, what do we think of Microsoft offering $100 if you trade in your PS3 for an Xbox One? There's a Microsoft
the coupon.
Incentive. Yeah, a coupon that if you give them that, they're going to give you $100 to trade in the thing.
Why wouldn't PlayStation just say, we'll do the same thing if you trade in your PS3 for a PS4?
No, and I get that. I think it's more of how do we feel about that kind of offer? And I guess
kind of like it's not underhanded, but it's kind of that that advertising against somebody, and like a McDonald's advertising against Burger King or whatever. It's kind of like that, but they're just coming out and say, "Give us your PS3s. We'll give you a." I mean, I think it's a really good marketing. I mean,
we sold phones.
Yes,
every phone company does that. They especially lately have been advertising really heavy. Bring in your Verizon phone. Bring in your AT&T phone. We'll pay this month. Maybe we'll pay your early termination fee. T-Mobile's doing that. That's a pretty standard practice. Because although this isn't phone, you're getting a person to change platforms.
Sure.
In any incentive you can get, I don't see it as a bad one.
Well, I haven't looked at the cost, and you would probably know better than I would, but the cost to produce an Xbox One, even offset by $100, I mean, you're not $100 in the scheme of.
It's not as bad as last generation, believe it or not.
There's small margins, but it's not.
But even that $100 is just such a drop in the bucket too, especially all the games and stuff you're going to be buying. So if they lose the $100, and let's be serious, they're not even really losing that $100. You're getting something out of it. They're probably going to part that off or recycle it.
Controllers. You're getting games out of it. You're getting so much out of that it's like you're gaining a customer. And in the beginning of it, this race, it is a marathon.
Absolutely.
You need to get an installed base.
Well, and actually, I know where you're going with that, but what I was actually trying to say is that Microsoft is getting the PS3 console, and there's not a whole lot, there's not a market for them, but I'm sure they're either going to resell them somewhere, part them out, or do something.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't they?
And they may only recoup 20 of that dollars that they're giving you, but they're also recouping that other 80 on stuff that they're.
Yeah, and if they sell a PS3, it's not like that person who like some kid in Brazil, or not to say Brazil, but it could be anywhere, any country in the world, who buys a PS3 after this 6 months from now isn't going to go buy a PS4.
Right.
You're not necessarily stealing your own customer away.
Right.
So I guess we all think it's not only fine to do, but maybe a good market anyways. Why not?
Well, the thing is that are you really stealing a customer either way? I mean, if somebody that has a PS3 or an Xbox 360, they're not an Xbox One or a PS4 customer yet.
No.
Especially when it comes to me. I had a PlayStation 2, but then I bought an Xbox 360. I didn't own a PlayStation 3. So I don't think that any generation is stealing from its future generation, from its previous generation, if they were to take a trade-in on a system. I think, honestly, they're completely different monsters, and just because you buy a PlayStation, then a 2, then a 3, does not mean I'm going to buy a PlayStation 4. There might be people out there like that.
There are a lot of people like that. There's a lot, just like you have your Microsoft or Apple or PC or whatever, you always have a person who supports that platform, and Sony has a real... Because think about it.
That's a very poor decision-making strategy, by the way. It's a very poor buying strategy.
Oh, I agree.
To buy the exact same system just because.
Well, and I agree with that, but too, I mean, even if they only steal, let's say, 2% of their base, 3% of their base, those numbers may not sound like a lot to us, but to them, that's
percentage. Every point is huge.
That's a huge deal to them. I mean, 2 to 3% a swing is, I mean, a 2% swing is
that's
a 4% swing.
Of.
Well, and it's a 4% swing for, I mean, realistically.
Because you're dropping 2 up.
Right. Yeah, and 4% in their favor, I mean, that may be $1 billion extra or even more.
And the most important thing about it is, with the cost rising so astronomically as it is, I really don't think you're going to see less and less people having both platforms.
Oh, yeah,
You're
absolutely.
really fighting to have one or the other be the victor.
The days of having all three are pretty much over.
Yes, and I think they both realize what Nintendo is. For this generation, we've talked about this sort of ad nauseum, that they're more of a dark horse. They're on the outside looking in. You and them. If you can get any pull, it just shows at the very least to me that you want that consumer.
Yeah.
PS3 could do a lot of different ads, but they're the ones who didn't want to take their money on their last console down until after everybody done it. Not to say that they're greedy, because every company has a certain sense of greed, But at the very least, at least Microsoft's taking an initiative.
Yeah, it's different. It's something that we haven't seen before.
In video game realm, we haven't.
Yeah, it's something that we haven't seen before, and I don't hate it. I guess I'm kind of indifferent. I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, me either.
I guess I don't really. I mean, I don't care in the fact that that I'm gonna march on it either way. But I'm just like, I think it's smart. I
Sure.
see. To me, it's innovation in a different realm. It's innovation in their marketing realm, and I know it's not. You're not reinventing the wheel, but you're doing something that hasn't been done before. And I mean, we're in general favor of innovation, and I don't feel like it's dirty or underhanded. I feel like
it
it's
can't
just
hurt.
Yeah, I feel like it's if PlayStation's smart, they'll go, okay, give us your 360, we'll give you $110. You know what I mean? Just one up them.
That's a lot of yen.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and call it now. They're saving all these PS3s, and they're going to put them in a huge pile and like blow them up on a big commercial or something.
Or
that would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Or they're actually going to combine all the PS3s and make one giant PlayStation 3. That's like they're gonna outdo the next PlayStation. Microsoft's gonna put up the next PlayStation,
like a super system.
PlayStation
exactly.
1 million.
Yeah,
That's
PlayStation right. 17.
To be fair, it'll have to be multiple of 3
next year.
Thinking of our good friend Andy Goobkill.
We got a Goob question.
Yeah, he actually sent one in.
So you know it's gonna get answered if it's Goop Kill.
Yeah, he sent in some others. We're only answering this, and we only have so much room for Christ's sake.
He's kind of a big deal.
He's kind of a big. We know him, so we're giving him a pass on this one. He actually has kind of an interesting one. If any of us ever played the Zelda CDI games, and what do we think of Nintendo doing that?
No, I have no idea what that is.
Well, Nintendo...
Enlighten me,
yeah,
great enlightener.
Super Nintendo was going to have a disc drive.
Right.
So Philips had leased the contract to do that. When Nintendo said, you know what, we're not feeling this medium is ready, they had signed a contract.
Right.
So they had already leased their property right, their intellectual property rights to Philips. So Philips produced 3 Zelda games.
Right.
Which I only remember...
We just looked at them the other day.
I only remember Wanda Gamelon because that's the only one I really played. I actually did play one because I knew one person who had that. They made 3 of them. 2 of them were just like the second Zelda, and one was actually more like the top-down. The thing that's funny to me is that back in the day, those games were like really actually well received, and now they're like pooped on as blasphemy. Right. It's just because they had a lot of cutscene animation that was popular, like Sega CD stuff.
Yeah,
and it doesn't live well.
No,
compared to graphics of now.
Well, and that's why when you talk about the old Tecmo Bowl fucking touchdown dance and shit, we remember it as, oh, it's so cool, I got the special one, you know.
But the graphical world you've mentioned before, if you go to fucking Reddit for video games, there's going to be somebody talking about graphics. Graphic. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
The thing that I thought was kind of interesting, and I guess what reason he asked about it is he's like, well, should I go back and play it? You know, right. And my thing is, the game that I played was fun. The thing is, Nintendo had we're talking a 1% thing to do with these games.
Right.
These games were all third party, all Philips creation. And all Nintendo gave was a little bit of input.
Right.
And they gave them the Zelda licensing, though.
Yeah, well, they had to.
So, yeah.
They'd already signed off on it.
They already signed
so
on
Philips
it.
essentially made their own, okay.
Yeah, we looked at them, and I was like, what the fuck are these? I've never heard of these Zelda games. And
they
then
made
we're
Mario
like,
ones, too.
Oh, this is what it was.
They had some Mario ones, too. It's the only time Nintendo games have gone off license like that.
I will say I'm interested personally to go and at least look at them. Whether or not I will play them will be a different thing. But I mean, you said you played one of them?
Yeah, the Wanda Gamelon.
Is it?
It's actually pretty solid. If you like Zelda, if you like the second Zelda, you'd like 2 of them.
Well, and most people who play Zelda, in my opinion, seem to be more, not fanboys is too strong of a word.
No, it's not.
But they're very protective.
But if you play Zelda, it's a very specific intellectual property, and you're going to probably play every Zelda. And if you're a big Zelda fanboy or somebody who just has to play all the Zeldas, I would say at least it's worth checking out, at least looking into.
If we went to E3 right now, we were all like Zelda cosplayers. We're like the hardcore Zelda fans. We would all probably crucify it. Probably at least me for just saying that a game was decent.
Right.
Even mentioning these games is tantamount to speaking blasphemy. They do not like it. And the thing is, the funny is those games were rated well. They weren't bad games then. Just as time gone on, they don't age well with graphics, but the gameplay's fine.
Let's be honest, neither did the second Zelda or the first Zelda or any old game is not going to hold up.
But the one thing I will say that I found interesting about these games, and the only reason I really not only reason, but one of the reasons I thought the question was good is because one of those games is really in the vein of the first Zelda. And it's the only Zelda that is like the first Zelda.
Right.
So for that alone, to rekindle that feeling, you go back and play.
I think the one thing that I've really taken out of this conversation, though, is what I want to do now is I want to go to a gaming convention and piss off Zelda cosplayers. Just with that, be like, hey, fuck off. Zelda's a piece of shit. And
remember
just,
the CDI?
No one does. That's actually what I do. But no, actually, I actually am a little bit interested to at least see or look into the games, though, personally.
I would just go there and be like, this is my Master Shield, and this is the Hyrulean sword. Just call everything wrong, make the costume wrong, and get in arguments.
Yeah.
Just troll them.
Where's Navi at now, bitch?
So good question. Hey.
Whoa.
Jesus.
You all right
Take
there?
a drink there. Good question, Andy. I'll get your other one. Don't worry. We'll get you your other one. So last in here, the realest W that I know.
The realest dub.
Real
Real dub.
He has a question to kind of get away from our bread and butter here. He asked, what's the best, or the one we had the most fun of, non-RPG the last 5 years?
Can I have two?
Sure, because
no, that is against the question. He has the best.
Our podcast, so you can honestly, if you want to make like 7 of them,
you can have 2 gold medals.
Because you know
my house.
We make the fucking rules.
You can have a tie. You can be a pussy.
Well, instantly I thought of Portal 2.
I know you were a big
God,
Portal
I forgot about. See, that's the problem I think about too. You forget the games you play. We were just like, what games did we play? I forgot. That was a fun as fuck game.
Portal came out like 7 or 8 years ago, so I can't use Portal, but I'll use Portal 2. I'll use the Portal IP.
I remember you introduced me to Portal. That was when I went to your house in Indy for training. That was, what, 2010? I mean, I know it may have been out longer than that.
Yeah.
But I experienced it in the last 5 years.
Orange Box came out in 2007, but Portal 2 has come out, I think it came out in 2007, but Portal 2 came out obviously within that time frame. But also Left 4 Dead. The Left 4 Dead 2.
God, that was so much fun. You and your wife, and me and my wife playing that online.
Yes. That was a blast.
Fun and brutal, but fun.
Trying to get your wives to do stuff. You're like, watch my six. And we're all like fucking hiding in corners and shooting zombies, and they're like, ah, running out in the middle of the street.
We already played it so much that me and you were like, we knew what we were doing. Like, it's like we play a game, you're doing it already, and then you're like, But it was still really, because that made it actually kind of a challenge. Harder. And it made it fun.
Yes.
Saving them, and they had a good time with it. Yeah. That was the best part. That's a great game.
Bitches love zombies.
Andrew?
This actually is a little harder for me because I focus more on my gaming than I think you guys do. But I'm going to go with Smash Brothers. The most recent Smash Brothers. I didn't play a lot of it, but whenever I did play it, oh my god, you and I and Lee and AJ, we sat down and played it for I come over to your apartment, and this has been years ago, but we had come over to the apartment, and it's probably been the last 5 years, but it's
right on the edge. But I don't think he's going to be mad if we give you an extra year.
He actually specifically said 60 months, no seconds. No, he didn't.
I'll fucking come to his house and punch him.
In small characters, it says, "Listen, motherfucker,
that's right.
It better be in 5 years."
But no, I just remember playing a lot of it, and it was just a really fun game. We've been fans of the Smash Brothers series since inception, and it's just been that's one game I couldn't put down for the longest time. But then I realized I didn't have a Wii, and I didn't give a fuck, so I just didn't play it anymore. So
a lot of people felt that way. Oh, what do I do with this damn thing now?
Yeah. What's this board? This Wii Fit board? I
need a kid to give this to. You know? I'm gonna have to go with Civ 5.
Ooh.
I've played so much Civ, it's nearly criminal. I mean, it really is. I mean, like 500 plus hours at this point.
Jesus.
Easy.
I've played so much of that game.
I've played so much of that game. But I didn't say it that way. I've played enough that it's criminal, because I've played a lot of Civ. And honestly, I'm not counting the expansions. It's just such a great game, and it's so insanely replayable. And I really love strategy games.
That is the one strategy game that is just, by and large, the most replayable strategy game in the world.
I guess the most accessible one that's replayable.
Yes.
Without going into like the deep interwebs. There's a deep webs for strategy games, which I like to go to, but I know that that's more of a minority of people who are real strategy gamers.
But still, Sid Meier's, he's made so good. Like, such a good, like, just series in Civilization. Like, it's an unstoppable force almost.
It is. And I would say, like, if I could do a push, I actually probably would almost prefer EU.
Yeah?
I just love Europa Universalis.
Yeah.
But it is so...
You've spoken about that game before, and you say it's pretty much, it's so
I watched him play it for like 30 minutes. I was like, yeah, fuck this.
So aren't you managing, like, how people cut the grass in like this 10x10 square and shit like
that?
No,
like it takes like a month or two to like master.
To get like proficient and be quick at it. Because you don't have to be quick, but it's a continually pace. It's not turns. You can pause the game, but if you're gonna play multiplayer, you never pause.
It's real time.
So the game is always creeping ahead, but you have to now manage an empire. So you're scanning and scrolling and clicking here and clicking here. So if you're inefficient and not watching, is there a rebellion here? Am I not moving my troops here? You can fall behind the pace. And the way the game's internal AI is built with basically, it has an internal bad boy rating, you can't be overly aggressive. The computer will counteract to that. And just the balance of the game is amazing. And the way you can play any country, any spot in the world, the way the interplay amongst it, I guess I would actually say it's a better game in a lot of ways than Civ 5.
RTS games, let's be fair, they're not as popular
I don't count on RTS.
No, but it is. It's real time.
You can pause it. It's not, when I think of RTS, I think of StarCraft.
Yeah, obviously. But it's a fine mix between a strategy game and an RTS game in the fact that it's one of the few strategy games that is not turn-based. It's one of the few strategy games that you have to keep up with a certain pace. And just like in an RTS game...
If you want to play multiplayer.
Right.
Because I play it like max speed and I just pause when I need to.
Right.
Unless I'm trying to... Because I played multiplayer when I'm thinking about it, then I'm trying to correct my pace.
Right.
A medium pace.
Right.
That's actually what you need to play at. But yeah. That's a great question.
Wow.
I just think about it.
Yeah.
So are we done with the mail sack?
That's it. That is the mail sack.
The sack is empty.
I was enjoying the sack.
We always are.
So we have a kind of not a weird main topic.
I don't think it's weird,
but it's a different main topic, something we haven't really done before. And this was actually O'Brien's idea.
Yay!
He was like, think about the old games, and of course we're going to talk about retro shit because
it's kind of one of our niches.
Yeah.
If you haven't realized we're going to discuss retro, you're a slow learner.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot to help you. Like retro? Yeah, we're going to talk about fucking Metroid and shit.
But speaking of Metroid, when you had all the Nintendo systems, all the Sega systems back in the day, every single one of them was released as a platformer.
And probably from 85 to 95, platformer was probably your go-to genre.
Yeah, they were at least your go-to launch title.
Yeah, and whenever I was younger, that's what I remember the most of playing was platformers.
Yeah. I think of like 5 nostalgic games off the top of my head, all of them platformers. Contra, or Sonic, or Mario, or Metroid, if you want to go that route. They disappeared. What happened?
What happened was,
like,
where did they go? Why did it stop being a mainstay on every system?
There's an evolution of them. Like, I would say you could probably count, like, Tomb Raider.
Sure.
Has a lot of platforming elements, but
it's a 3D platform instead of
side-scrolling. It began, I would say, almost a complete adventure platform.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it evolves, and I think for the most part, most of the platforms evolved to something else. And I don't know if it's the nature of how games are developed or maybe just what people want.
Right.
Maybe it's older people or younger people don't feel it the same way we did. Not to mention, old platformers were limited a little bit by their graphic and what a game could do. So you're making the best experience with what you can.
Right.
And that's kind of what I was getting at. I completely agree with that. Essentially, the more graphically intense you get, the platformer medium is just kind of stifled by 3D graphics. Because it's side-scrolling. It's a 2D genre of game. And then once you go into the 3D first person or even third person, platforming in a way becomes more difficult because of your camera angles. You're looking through a character's eyes as opposed to looking at around the character and being able to see things you're getting shot from behind or
Tomb Raider's third person though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
you're just wasting a D if you do 2D. Who wants to waste a D?
Yeah.
The thing about it is too, it's an older genre, and you think about like Mario. What Andrew said was completely correct in the fact that as time continually moves on, people want more. And with the graphical complexity of it, 2D stuff has almost become an indie game thing.
Absolutely.
So why don't people want platformers? That's, I guess, when I was thinking of the question, I'm thinking to myself, other than Mario, which Mario is still a complete platformer.
Yep.
Metroid games, like Metroid Prime.
More action.
It's still got platformer elements.
But it's kind of more of an FPS-ish kind
of. It is. So other than Mario, it's really hard to find a true, completely, not an indie. Not to say fuck indie, but just not an indie because they do everything and it's a different world.
There's games.
Think of a platformer. It's hard to.
That's a specific platformer.
And I think we've touched on this before, and now that I started thinking about it in depth, is I think a lot of it is the fact of how many hours do you get on those platformers?
Yeah.
I mean, do you really want? I mean, could you make a 40+ hour platformer? I mean, is that a possibility to do? Because I think you'd have to put out at least you'd have to put out a 20 to 40 hour platformer.
Maybe Mario Galaxy, some of the new Marios, they can get to that area.
Something besides Mario.
But that is the platform.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's about all I can name.
Because if I'm going to go spend money, I mean, personally, if I'm going to go out and if I go out and get an Xbox One and then go out and decide I want a fucking platformer. And you're going to say, okay, you're going to spend $60 on a platformer. My first thought is, how much playing time am I going to get out of this? Because $60 is a lot of money to me.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money to anybody.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me I'm going to get 8 hours out of a platformer for $60? Sorry, fuck yourself.
And not to, like, say, quickly answer the question, but I guess when I think about what happened to platformers, to me it's almost like birds and dinosaurs.
Right.
Platformers are really available in every type of game. Every sandbox game, like, fucking pick one, I don't know, a GTA. You're dodging things, you're doing things. It doesn't matter what the game is. Elder Scrolls, you're jumping. Maybe you're jumping over enemies. You're doing things. Because anytime you're really jumping over an obstacle, like Pitfall, that is a platformer.
Right.
That essentially is what you're doing. So maybe it's less about where the genre went and more about how it's melded into the genres now.
Games have evolved beyond the constraints of a platformer.
Correct.
An actual platformer.
The idea of a sandbox is what, in a way, okay, take Zelda. That's just Miyamoto's dream. And that first Zelda, in a way, is an attempt at a sandbox.
Right.
I don't know if it was purposeful, but the way I look at it, it is kind of
I don't have to follow the storyline. I can roam around and kill shit if I want to.
It's not really a sandbox at all. I wouldn't count it. But it's maybe an early attempt at it. And in the reality of it, the video game making a whole world, a whole second dimension, that's kind of what you're going for. Now video games can do that. So maybe the platformer is less needed.
Right. It was kind of replaced almost by sandbox games.
And I'll use Skyrim as an example. Some of the more annoying things, like in Skyrim, if like, let's say you're scaling a mountain, which obviously is realistic.
Yeah,
and
you know, 80-degree mountain on a horse, no big deal.
Yeah, and you slide off a little bit, and you fall to a place where, it's...
I levitate.
Well, yeah, you just levitate because it's Skyrim.
Cast levitation.
That's Morrowind, bitch. But you fall, and let's say you fall just that little bit too far and you die. You're like, what the fuck? I just fell to my death.
Yeah.
Well, that was essentially one of the main death mechanics in a platformer. And now, in today's gaming world, falling to your death, in my opinion, is fucking annoying. You're like, God damn it, I just fell off the edge. If I'd have jumped that little bit of it, it's either the jump should be so easy that you shouldn't miss it, or it's so hard that you're like looking down at the ground, hit your sprinting button, and then you're like jump, and then you die because you fucking missed the cliff by a quarter of an inch.
Right.
And that mechanic, in a way, is not exciting anymore. It's annoying.
Well, you got to think it wasn't exciting then. It was also really fucking annoying back then too.
Mega Man. That's a platformer.
Yes.
And a lot we talked about the difficulty of games has changed. Platformers, by and large, back then were hard games.
Yeah.
They were unforgiving. You either got the jump correct, you either dodged that enemy correct, you did whatever correct,
or you died. Yes.
Or lost life or whatever, but you were soon to die.
I'm thinking of, you mentioned indie games. I'm thinking of indie games that are platformers today, and a popular one that was released like a year or so ago, Fez.
Yeah.
I've heard of it, yeah. I've seen screenshots and play on it.
And I enjoy platformers. I enjoy puzzle games. I found that game to be infuriatingly boring.
Is it because it's after a bad hat?
No.
Don't you wear a fez in the game?
Yeah, you wear a fez. Like a magic fez or some shit like that.
Because all fezes are magic.
But I found it to be more annoying than anything else. I played it for maybe an hour or two, and I was like, yeah, fuck this.
I remember you said you downloaded, and you're like, because everybody was like, saying this is a great indie game.
Humongous erection over this game.
And you're like, I don't have one.
No. I played, I was like, this is fucking boring. I know how to get up there. I just can't make the fucking jump, or I can't get it the right way, and I don't fucking care enough. I don't want to sit here and do a Rubik's Cube. That's not why I bought a game. You know what I mean?
And granted, you look at society in general, like would be Twitter, Facebook, whatever, people do want things to move faster.
Yes. And
maybe less on precision to a way. So it's like, I just want to get to the fucking point where I can figure this out. Let me just do it.
Which is why I think Portal was so successful. Because Portal is a platformer in a way.
I think it actually, well, I guess it could be slightly a puzzle game.
It's a first-person shooter puzzle game.
I would consider more of a platformer than a shooter in a way.
Oh, it's not a shooter. It's a first-person perspective.
I know what you mean, yeah.
I will say, though, that there's this really good platformer that just came out. It's Flappy Bird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I still don't even know. Did she make you play that?
No. I heard. People won't shut the fuck up.
I still don't even know what it is. I refuse to Google it. I won't fucking do it.
Essentially, it's a cheap. It looks like a cheap to me.
Yeah, like a cheap from Mario.
Okay. Pipes, and you tap the screen to make it to go up and down and float it through the pipes.
So it's a helicopter game.
Essentially, yes.
And it's like fucking huge for like 4 days or something.
Like, man, I've seen people like Facebook put screenshots when they have a high score.
I heard the dude made like $50,000 a day on it.
Yeah,
or
and
some shit like
apparently
that.
he decided to stop it because he said, "Fuck this game. I don't want." Because people were like, I don't know if like death threats or people were like talking shit to him or something via Twitter because that matters. But apparently he took the game off of fucking Marketplace.
Oh my god, he's creating a demand now. Maybe he's a marketing genius.
Yeah.
Obviously,
like,
he is.
Flappy Bird.
If you fucking market Flappy Bird and you make $50,000 a day,
Dude,
you're a
your
genius of some sort or a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Well, mobile games, you just have to find a little catchy mechanic that catches on to moms and dads and grandpas around the world, and you've made money.
Or people our age, unfortunately, because I know like several people of our age on Facebook like fucking Flappy Bird.
I understand puzzle games. I'll never play fucking what's that Tomb Runner or bullshit. Fucking Temple Run.
Yeah,
I'll never play shit like that
or
Subway Surfers. My little brother plays all these games. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, like the person we work with, Shelly.
Oh, okay.
She got me. She's like, you gotta play that Flappy Bird. I'm like, oh fuck, this is. I've seen a high score thing, but I wasn't aware of what the game, how you played it. After about 3 times, I was like, yeah, this is terrible. It's just frustrating. I have to find the correct amount of tabs. This is bad. I want to stop now.
Yeah.
But that is where platformers have gone, though, to stupid little indie or mini games that, have really dumbed down platformers. So,
unfortunately, that's not the only game genre to fall that way.
No, the sad thing is you look back at this, we're talking about platforms, we're discussing other games, and one that I kind of find that is you can really put a note on why it went away, I think, to an extent, is the point-and-click adventures. The Myst.
Like Myst and Riven.
Oh, God.
Well, honestly, before, like, I used to play the fuck out of Phantasmagoria.
Oh, God. What was it? 13th Hour or
13th Hour,
7th something.
There was a 13th Hour and there was a 7th Seal, something like that.
7th something.
Those all I never played those, but those sound really familiar.
I had Phantasmagoria. I played a lot of that on computer because it was a lot of the cutscene animation, also a little rapey.
Because that's what we should play games. Because
do you remember?
Maybe a lot rapey.
Do you remember the game? Are You Afraid of the Dark? Where they were in like a wax museum.
That's like one of Jada's favorite games. Are You for the Dark games?
What was that called?
Something fucking terrifying.
I'll have to ask her.
Yeah, it was something like Mephisto's Magic Wax Museum or some shit like that.
See, I actually liked the point and click adventure before that. We've done this before when we used to do like Link to the Last or categories of Shadowgate. I used to play the fuck out of Shadowgate, which is a Nintendo game. And you're in a dungeon and you're trying to point and click your way through it.
Are you trying to find a Shadowgate?
No, that's the name of the place you're stuck in.
Okay, so you're in Shadowgate.
Correct. But I mean, it was fucking. First, it was brutally hard and really frustrating. Think about the point and click. The answer is usually right in front of your face, but maybe it's not. But usually it's somewhere there, and you can't find it, and that's it. You just go in a circle until you.
You know, we should actually probably define more what a point and click. I mean, I know the point and click because honestly, because we've been saying Myst and Riven and Phantasmaganus or whatever the hell it is.
Phantasmagoria.
I just fuck with you, but no, but like a lot of
always
people,
hating on me.
A lot of people like have no idea what that kind of stuff is, and I mean, I'll let you kind of started it. I'll let you kind of explain.
They're just adventure games.
Essentially, it's an adventure game. Imagine you're playing. I'll think of a good adventure game, a Link game.
Imagine you're in a movie,
but you're first person, and you see the surrounding about you, and you're clicking on the object in there to give you the hint to where to go next. Everything is like, if you're stuck in a house, you walk in the front door, you look at the room, every door is locked. You find the key or the secret hidden thing, you go to the next door, the next door, the next door. It's an adventure game where it's really about perception and exploring your surroundings and the story.
And when he says,
go ahead.
When he says click around, it's not like Diablo click around. It's like when you go into a room,
kind of.
Exactly.
You can click left, you can click forward, and you can click right. If you click left, you turn left, and you see what's left. You're not. It's like it's weird. It's its own genre. Really,
it's kind of like reading a book, but having a visual in a way. And it's especially one of those older kind of books where you get to choose your way.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah, choose your own adventure. It's kind of like that, I guess.
Yeah,
but skip ahead and see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going there. I'm not going.
Yeah, I'm not going that way. You died. Oh shit! I meant this one.
The other one,
exactly, yeah. No, it is like that. It's a genre that is. I mean, I think Myst still makes games. I know that Myst.
Really?
I think they made like a Myst 3. I mean, that might have been like 8 years ago, but I mean, I know that Myst is made at least to this millennia.
My question is, why?
Why did they go away, or why did they still make a game?
No. I know why they went away. Because now we've got computers that can actually, you can control it instead of looking around.
By the way, I remember the first Myst game. It was like 3 discs, and Riven was like 6 discs.
I remember playing
Myst
that with you on Hillcrest.
So I actually had a good time with a lot of these, because it was all about the story. You had to think. You had to solve puzzles. You had to actually focus. And I actually thought Phantasmagoria had a good story. And it was really violent. It was, not that sounds
actually
bad.
does. I mean,
rapey and violence. That sounds awesome. No, it sounds,
like I was kind of making fun, but no, it actually does sound really cool. I mean, because Myst didn't have any rape, so.
It was like, yeah.
I like rape.
Yeah, what game doesn't have rape? You need Night Trap and Phantasmagoria in your life. Or like Maniac Mansion was another game on Nintendo.
I don't remember
that I love. It was a point and click thing. But a lot of them have a little bit of an RPG-esque, as anybody could tell we like that.
Not really. I mean,
you are taking control and you're in the middle of a story. To me, that's the same principle. I'm playing a role. I'm playing this person.
I guess. Yeah, I can see that.
I kind of liked the story of Myst, and it was really pretty at the time. Graphically,
yes, I remember like
because
Myst
it was standing still, so they could be beautiful worlds.
It was essentially like just putting great photos out there.
Right.
And, yeah. Photos haven't really changed.
But in '95, that was like,
whoa, shit, that looks so cool.
And I remember playing that. Nothing.
I remember playing that at your house.
Yeah.
And it was in the back room with your creepy ass hermit crab
cage. I never had a hermit crab.
You had some sort of crab back there, motherfucker, because I remember the shit out of it.
I had a fucking hedgehog at one point, not a crab.
There was a crab in that room because I looked at it. And
oh yeah, my mom had had crabs.
Yeah,
but no,
there was a hermit crab or something.
No, it was actually a goddamn like a legitimate crab. It was like a blue moon crab or something.
Fuck whatever it was scary as shit. Because I don't like that underwater shit. And he was like, I forgot about like fucking crawling around like a fucking alien or some shit.
No, and the reason my mom had crabs is because
it's my bad.
Did you give
your fault. No, my ex-stepdad used to call her a crab, being crabby or whatever. And so he would get her like little glass crabs or whatever, and then I used to work at Pet Food Center, and we actually had these fucking real crabs. I'm like, hey, Mom, here's a fucking crab, because it's that thing. And she's like, what the fuck do I need this goddamn crab for?
What do I feed it? I don't know, rocks or some shit. Yeah. Like, I was always afraid that motherfucker was going to get out.
It was just like it wasn't.
And if for some reason you pass out for a really long time, he'll probably pinch you really hard.
And it'd probably, like, go into my brain or something.
Because that's what crabs do.
Yeah. They look like they would.
Are you fucking like a deep sea diver? Are you like Jacques Cousteau?
Yeah.
You're the opposite of anything.
Except I would not go anywhere near the deep sea. I saw a video, by the way, and we're on a completely tangent now. I saw a video, by the way, of a guy who was underwater walking on the ground of the ocean, like the fucking floor of the ocean, and there was a gigantic crater, and it was black, and the fucking dude dove into it. I was like, no way.
I wish I would have been there while you were watching this video just to see your reaction.
Tyler linked it to me. I was sweating bullets the whole time.
So I think that's really interesting. We know less about the deep ocean than we do the moon.
Yeah,
I just find the deep ocean really interesting.
I hope the deep ocean stays deep.
Minus Jacques Cousteau, because he's French.
Fucking French people.
We go to the ocean. We go to see the fishy. Fuck you, dude.
Oh. Whoa.
Sorry.
Any Jacques Cousteau fanboys out there are really pissed.
All those Jacques Cousteau fanboys are going to stop listening.
Ah, damn it.
No, but besides the point-and-click adventure, to jump back onto our main topic, which that's one a lot of people haven't played, but you could go back and play and have a good time with it maybe.
Sure.
Because I still think Myst is a fun game. It does exercise your mind and your gaming sense in a different way. I think a lot of times when I play Skyrim, using Skyrim as an example, I'm really focused on all my surroundings.
Right.
And that's something I learned from those games. You have to look at or any RPG, you're like, where did I miss something? I didn't struggle with that. Because I looked at I broke every pot, I got into every drawer, I did every little thing.
I will say, like, kind of a niche for those games now, because I don't think, it's not that I don't think, I know that a Myst or Riven type of game, that point-and-click adventures, are not going to be relevant to our generation, or even younger kids. They're not going to be relevant. But I will say the niche that and I don't know that anybody's marketed them as such or would be successful, but I think if they were going to have a niche, they would be almost like the educational type of video games.
Well,
if you took Myst and gave it to a 7-year-old who is not maybe fully, just balls deep in the fucking gaming world at this point, who doesn't, know all the Twitch gaming and that kind of stuff, and still has the patience to sit there and point and click on things, I think in a way, the puzzle solving skills and the, looking at your surroundings could be have some sort of educational merit in a way that could be presented as not really fucking gay. Because a lot of the educational games are just like stupid.
They're already really fucking.
Yeah, I'd give him Phantasmagoria.
I don't think I would
expand his horizons a little bit.
That's how my son's gonna learn.
I would think Mr. Riven would be the way I would go in that situation, not Phantasmagoria.
If you don't have kids, you don't understand how kids work.
You don't understand.
You give a 4 or 5-year-old a little bit of rape, and so maybe you
Wait a
jump.
minute.
I
think I would
phrasing.
I think I would reword that.
Phrasing.
How about a rapey game? Yeah.
I think I would. Yeah, be careful with your wording on that because this is going to be on the internet.
Them interwebs.
So anyway, those are kind of our thoughts. Unless you have something to add.
No, I think that pretty much sums up. I mean, there are other genres we've kind of left that have gone on the wayside, but I mean,
Beat 'em ups are kind of gone.
But look at Dynasty Warriors. That's not a beat 'em up.
But it's today's beat 'em up.
It's a 3D version of a beat 'em up.
It's today's beat 'em up as much as fucking like Skyrim is today's platformer.
In a lot of ways, these genres are movie silent films.
Yeah,
they are because silent film. A lot of people will tell you, especially granted, they're going to tell you if they're a silent film. People are people who like those things. Those guys in the 50s and 60s would give all these interviews. Like Charlie Chaplin, he refused to do a fucking talking motion picture till like the 50s. He hated them. And they all maintained that it took less skill acting because as a silent, I have to convey every
emotion.
Yeah.
With my body language and the way I do things, where now you can say what the fuck you mean. So in a way, everything that's done in silent film is conveyed in a way in movies today.
Right.
In a lot of ways, platformers, the beat 'em ups, which is the combat of every game, is based from that. Or a point and click, the way that RPGs are done from that. A lot of the stuff, it all kind of flows into the next thing.
Sure.
It's all taking something from it.
So it's not so much that platformers or beat 'em ups or those types of games went away. It's that they've evolved into something better, bigger and better.
Agreed.
That you can get more money and more time out. Or you can, you're spending more money on it, you can get more time out of it.
Yeah, they're going to be more complete experiences, usually.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it.
Positive note.
Fuckers.
Lightning round!
I got hit by lightning.
Oh, yeah, girl. It's time for the lightning round.
All right. Welcome to the lightning round, the game that we play every time except for one.
That's right. We changed it up a little bit this time, though.
We did.
Yes. A byproduct of our week off.
Yeah. So one of the big things that we talked about, and it's one of the hardest parts of the game to or the show to balance, I guess, if you will, to kind of make sure that we have a good amount of content in a perfect amount of time without going crazy long. We decided to kind of scrap the category game in its original form, I suppose.
And in a way, the category game was great, but we're just kind of our own worst critics in a way.
Yeah.
And I think we all came to the conclusion that the category game just is not going to have the longevity that we want for this podcast. And this game may not have it either. But I think it's a good fix in the meantime, or maybe we've come up with something perfect, or maybe we didn't.
It was hard to come up with categories. Good ones, anyways.
Yeah. It's at least something that we can be... See, the problem with the category game is we couldn't be specific enough. We had to say things that are red.
Yeah, when we start talking
vehicles.
about things... Yeah, when we start talking about things that are red in video games and we actually do it, that is the shark. Yeah, it's like, oh god,
you had to be broad enough to where you could list several things and it would still be fun, but you couldn't be too broad where you're like characters and RPGs. Because then you could literally go on forever.
Yes.
So this narrows it down and makes it a specific choice that you have to make. And we'll explain how the game's going to go. I won last time?
Yes.
Sure.
You're goddamn right I did. So I'll go first. So I'll go first. Basically how it's going to work is I'm going to give them a clue. The clue is going to be something extremely broad that kind of gets them narrowed down to a specific area. Not even a specific area. Kind of an area. Could be kind of tricky. You ever seen like a Jeopardy clue where you may not know exactly what's in it until Trebek explains it, right? So this is going to be somewhat similar to that.
Suck it, Trebek.
Based on that clue, they then bid on how many things they can name in that category, even though they don't necessarily know what the category is.
Name that tune, bitch.
Name that tune. So then I'm going to ask them, okay, this is the category. I need you to list blank number of things in this category. The person that bid the most has to list those. If they can't, the other person gets the point. If they can,
they obviously get the point.
Then they get the point. And we do this 3 rounds. Each person has brought a specific category.
I will say it sounds confusing because the first time we kind of came to a consensus on it, you were trying to explain to me, and it sounded confusing, but then once you start realizing how it flows, you're like, oh, that makes fucking sense.
Unless you're retarded.
Yep.
And then you'd be like, this is really hard.
If you're retarded, this podcast probably sounds a little weird to you.
Right.
Like penis. Talk about penises.
All right. So the clue is walk softly, but carry a big stick.
There's not that many games with Teddy Roosevelt. I can think of a couple, but not very many.
The fact that you know a game with Teddy Roosevelt is pretty impressive on its own.
He was in a Civ game.
Yeah, that's all I know. Yeah. I thought you were going to go some crazy...
Yeah. It was on the Famicom.
Yeah.
No.
So, I don't know how we're going to start the bidding. We'll start to the person to my left.
Okay. Or maybe the person who just wants to bid bids.
The minimum bid is 3. You have to bid 3.
So 3.
I'll say 4. I'm not confident in this 4, but I will say 4.
Much like the practice rounds, I realize I'm bad at this game.
So the point of the bidding is, you obviously don't want to let somebody have it at too low of a number.
But you also don't want to bid too high of a number yourself where you fuck yourself.
But you don't want to fuck yourself in bidding too high.
5.
Ugh. I feel like 5 is like
the magic number.
It's kind of that point where, god damn it, I don't want to name 6 because I don't know that I can name 6. But 5... son of a bitch.
Is he gonna sack up?
Name the thing.
Oh, we gave it to him. All right.
Fuck me.
I almost went 6 on that. I mean, well.
Other than just saying sword, axe, or, something like that, I need you to name me weapons in Morrowind.
Other than sword or axe?
You can't just say sword, axe, hammer. You have to give me, not specific titles, but give me something else other than just saying sword.
So I'm gonna go with a longbow. There's a hammer, warhammer. I was a dagger, which that's the only one I knew for sure I would get. Is there not like a pickaxe? Hatchet? That was a hatchet, right?
There's something like that.
A hand axe?
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. Okay, that's 4. Fuck me. There's a staff, like a quarterstaff.
There you go. I'll give you that. There were so many daikatanas and...
Oh, God. I didn't think about that.
Fucking throwing knives, throwing stars,
spears. I forgot that they did the... Yeah.
Oh, yeah, spear.
They had halberds, I think.
But hey.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, halberd. I know they had spears. I know they had a ransuer or whatever. Or...
Oh, yeah, they did have a Did they have a ransuer?
I don't think so. I don't know what that is.
Maybe.
It's like a pole arm.
It's like a specific, pole arm with a kind of a...
axe head kind of on it.
But it's a small one, so you could, fuck some shit up from 8 feet away.
That's right.
Fuck shit up from 8 feet away.
That's the description on the weapon itself. Do you want to fuck shit up from 8 feet away?
That's a tag on my penis.
Thou shalt fucketh up thine enemy from 8 feet away. 8 stone away. That's a weight, but I don't care.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait a minute, what happened?
Isn't it 15 pounds or 25 pounds?
It's a lot. Stones are fucking a 20 pound
I
piece.
think it's 15, 20, 25 pounds for some reason.
Yeah, it's something high up there.
Yeah.
We weigh 4 stone, not really, but
it's 8 stone or 10 stone or
Sharon
something.
stone.
12 stone.
Sharon stone.
Okay.
Stone sour.
For my name that category thing, my hint is child's play area. We'll start the bidding at 3. The gentleman to my left.
I feel like I should be really good at this category.
I think I know where you're going.
Trying to cruise for dates?
That's right.
Trying to pick up chicks.
Put your bike in my car.
Hope you got a big trunk because I'm putting my bike in it. I'm going to start at 3.
I'll go 4 for the sake of going 4.
Got to do the magic number 5.
Am I going to let it go at 5 again? Because I lost the point by letting it go at 5. And I feel like that's going to be my weakness in this game. Is I feel like I'm going to try and push you guys into 5.
Go 6, pussy.
Nope. I'm going to let you go 5.
Of
course, you said you thought you knew where he's going.
Okay. So the child's play area would be a sandbox.
I fucking knew it.
Yep. Give me 5 games in the sandbox area, but only 1 game per series. No multiples per series.
Jesus. Okay. Elder Scrolls. Saints Row. Grand Theft Auto. Fallout. And balls.
I'm not sure if I
I put my balls on sandbox. Actually, I haven't.
On a hot day.
Burn, dude.
Crackdown?
Yeah, because Crackdown's the game. Man, you had some time on that one.
Well, you can't name them in 4 seconds.
I was just saying. I don't know what the time. I don't know what the time is, so I don't know. That's one thing I guess we didn't really talk about.
So what?
No, correct.
Yeah,
Correct on you. It's totally legit.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to be a dick. I'm just saying.
I was trying to think of fifth one. What's the next one?
I don't know.
Where do you go from 5?
Prototype count?
Yeah, that would have counted. Shit. And I played a ton of that game too.
Mm-hmm.
I played so much of that game.
You probably go with something like the Lego games, but I don't know. I'm sure
they're not really sandbox. There was that Lego World or whatever. I think that's kind of a sandboxy game.
Yeah. Well, anything with an open world environment, I mean, in a way, could you almost say WoW?
Yeah, I suppose. I don't think that would be a sandbox game.
No, it wouldn't necessarily be a sandbox game. But, there's some angles you could go at and find that one. So, okay. Andre.
Excuse me, I've got a cough.
All right. My clue is the handicapped.
I'm offended.
I'm appalled. The handicapped.
The handicapped.
Sure, 3.
4.
God damn it!
I have a feeling like if you're this witty, I think you might have the category. I'd be pretty impressed. Maybe I'm just being overly witty with it.
I'll shoot at 5.
Fuck, because I knew I had 4. If your category is the magical thing that I'm thinking it is, but I'm thinking, do I have 6? And I don't think that I do in my head. Fuck it, I'll give it to you. Is it golf games, by the way?
It is standalone golf series.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I could think of 4 or 5. But I don't know if I could have got 6.
Okay. Tiger Woods. Mario Golf. God, I don't think I can name 5. Hot Shots. The PGA series. And... oh, fuck, what's that game?
I know which one you're going for, too.
What's that game?
I know it.
I do, too.
I knew I could name 5. I couldn't name
Cock! I have to call time on myself.
Outlaw Golf?
Fuck
Outlaw
me!
Golf.
Oh, yeah! Goddamn golf.
See, I knew I had 5. And that was a really good name for your category.
That was the only thing I could think of was handicap from golf.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I know 5 in my head. I'm like,
God,
I can't.
golf was so good.
Oh, dude, Jack Nicklaus Golf for regular Nintendo. You ever played that one?
I named the PGA series because from Sega.
That one wasn't. That was there's other games out there, but that's the 5 I could think of.
Wasn't there just an old shitty game just called Golf or something like that?
Yeah, there probably was, but fucking
maybe.
Probably Master System.
Yeah,
had every other sport.
Google it or something. Damn,
that was a good one though.
That was my favorite golf game too.
I remember it's honestly like
it was fun. Actually, I liked Hot Shots.
Yeah,
I loved Hot Shots.
Those are both good games.
And of course, Mario Golf was honestly Tiger Woods was my least favorite of the games you named. I think
I hated in Tiger Woods. You could add spin.
Honestly, I think that's our biggest complaint. Like you'd be playing Tiger Woods, like, oh cool, I
overshot that.
Let's put backspin on it midair.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods can't do that shit.
He's not Jesus. What is it? I don't get that. He just fucks Perkins waitresses. That's all.
He's like the Jesus of pussy. I mean,
yeah. He gets pancakes, gets waitresses. Life is good.
Let's be honest. If we were all billionaires, we'd be all.
I think I could hook up with a Perkins waitress now, let alone millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go to a mediocre Denny's.
Perkins waitresses now.
I'm sorry, if you're a Perkins waitress, you're a little bit better than Denny's. Go work at Bob Evans. Step your game up.
Step your game up.
Yeah, get some down on the farm acts in your life.
Oh, Bob Evans is good.
I love Bob Evans.
Now I'm hungry.
It's not open late, and it's always old people.
Yeah. So now we go on to Devil's Advocate. O'Brien won, so he gets to do his category first.
We were discussing this a little earlier, so it kind of inspired me. You talked about your drinking game. So I want to know, which of these would you rather not play as a drinking game? Essentially, which one would you think would be worse to get fucked up at? Take a drink every time that you die or get hit in Mega Man.
Oh dear Lord.
Or drink every time the heart sounds in Link.
Mega Man. Every time. Wait a minute. What would we rather have?
Mm-hmm. Like, what do you think would be worse, essentially?
Link then. I thought you were asking the other way around.
No. Which is worse? Bear in mind, it's not like it's always going to be going off, just whenever it does go off.
So every beep?
Yeah, until you get another heart.
So you take a drink every beep?
Yes.
Oh, God.
I think that's the argument right there. My God. You get hit one time, the beep literally lasts until eternity. You wouldn't be able to find another heart because you would be too busy taking drinks. I don't see how that's even a possibility, how Mega Man could win. I mean, think of the times we've talked about the most annoying thing in the world. And it's annoying for a reason. You can't just find a heart willy-nilly. You have to search for it. You have to go screen to screen killing stuff, and fucking hell, that may be 3 minutes? That's 180 drinks. It's about every second. Jesus Christ, you'd be hammered. You might die before you find a heart. What the fuck do you do?
All right. Now, this is going to be tough, to be honest, because I don't know. I mean, I guess you probably could black out and die from the Mega Man drinking game. But I agree with you that if you don't find that heart, but you know what? You're guaranteed to get hit in Mega Man. You can't go through, especially bosses, and especially if you're talking about the older Mega Man games, where especially like you fall off the screen, like in the Mega Man 1 or 2, where you fall off and you take damage. Like you can take 3 or 4 hits right there in the span of, honestly, the same amount of times the heart container or the heart beeps are going to happen. But then also, assuming you do progress through the level, Mega Man also, he's got, well, I guess so does Link has life too, but, well, I guess I'll concede that one. Because I really can't compete with, death. So.
Okay. Obviously, I'm conceding kind of makes the scoring easy on my part. Yeah. And when I was thinking in my head, be honest with you, I actually thought that the Mega Man was the better argument point to go from. Because in Link, you can actually go like 20, half an hour without ever hearing that beep. It's bad when you get there, but you would already be fucking stone dead drunk from Mega Man. There's no way to avoid getting hit in every part of that level. How many times you fucking die and have to restart? It would be, and the problem with Mega Man being a platformer, you're gonna get you're gonna get so bad by being drunk.
Right.
It's an impossibility to avoid it. Whereas it's gonna be more of like a consistent drinking to a real focused heavy drinking. Binge versus consistent.
Well, the thing with like you said, you might go 30 minutes with Link without drinking, but you get that half heart.
Oh, sure.
It's going to be over quick.
Oh, sure. So that's the angle I was saying go with it.
Well, no, and honestly, I lost it as soon as he had the Link battle, because immediately I'm like, God damn that fucking noise. I mean, like, seriously, that's like, I'm not even worried about the argument at that point. I'm like, I can't stand that noise, and I can't make it. I was like, you will die. If you hit the noise while you're playing a drinking game, you're dead. IRL.
So the way I think people should at home, you should play this. Yeah. And let us know how it goes.
Yeah. See what
Actually,
happens.
no. Don't do that, because then somebody will say...
Well, they can't listen... They can't listen to our podcast if they're dead, so...
Yeah, like, he learned it from the podcast.
Yeah.
Hot coffee in my lap.
Do it with shots, pussy.
That's right. Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
I should have made it chug a beer every time you die with Mega Man.
That would have been legit, like...
brutal dead right there.
Good God.
Well, you just would fall asleep, because after about the third or fourth death, you're like, fuck this, I'm out.
Speaking of the drinking game that caused that, we were talking about Drunk Driver and the Mario Kart game, where you have to finish your beer, but you have to do it while your cart is at a complete stop. Because obviously drinking and driving is bad.
I think would be a really fun drinking game to play, because I don't think you wouldn't get smashed like super quick. I mean, you get smashed quick, but you'd at least get a handful of races in.
That third or fourth race would start to get foggy.
Yeah.
I think we should do that 24-hour live stream.
I legitimately... Actually, someone...
should be at the end of it, just to let you know.
Because I messaged that to Tyler via Skype, and he's like... And that's exactly what he says, like, live stream it. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
I did not drink the 24-hour live stream because I was afraid I'd pass out. I made it the full 24 hours on 4 energy drinks. And
I don't think you drank all 4 of yours. I drank all 4 of mine.
I had 1 left, I think. 3 energy drinks. Anyway.
Anywho.
Moving on. It is my turn.
See.
All right, so my debate is going to be a little different.
See.
I don't have 2 points that I want you to argue from.
Okay.
I'm going to give you several points, and you have to pick the ones you want to argue.
Oh.
Can I pick all of them? Or
no, you pick one specifically out of a pool.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Okay.
If you could be one class from WoW, what would it be?
Like, now, do I get like these abilities in real life?
Yes, you become the class.
I become the class in WoW.
Choose wisely.
I want to be them all.
Yeah.
I think I'll say Druid.
I was gonna go Shaman because Shaman, so go for it.
Okay, well I'm gonna take Druid because if you're looking at like, not saying that WoW is gonna come out in real life, but I can be both a tank, I can heal, and I can fight. And in real world, then I can be a tough guy and whoop ass. I can heal myself and heal those around me, not to mention resurrect them. And then I can also fucking do all the other stuff, like just being a fighter, not to be like a big burly guy, but a quick fighter. I can also change into a ton of fucking animals. I can be a seal and swim under the water. You know, I can be a cat. I can be all the animals. I can be a fucking bear, and I love bears. I'm more of a panda bear guy, but I love all bears. So that's just, you know, not the gay bears, but more like the bears of animals. So I have all these animals I can do. I can have every ability from the tree. It's like everything in WoW, every angle, whether it be a tank, a mage, or whatever, I have every ability in one, on top of resurrection. Pretty cool thing.
All right, now the resurrection thing is good. Shamans also have that. The reason I would like to be a shaman, for one, I was a shaman in WoW, so I'm kind of pigeonholed myself. I can heal and destroy things, and I can do all the things at all times. With being a druid, you have to be in a specific form, or in specific forms you can't do certain things. So if you're a fucking bear, you're just a bear. And yeah, you can swipe things, but bears can do that. If I'm a shaman, I can heal, I can cast fireballs, I can cast lightning. So if I piss you off, I'm going to tornado your house. I don't give a fuck. Or if you're like my friend is like, here, have some healing, because I have that. I will set up a perimeter around my house with totems and create the fucking wards. I have spirit wolves, because spirit wolves, and they're going to heal me. So as they're mauling you, you can't kill me, because I have spirit wolves that heal me. They're also going to taunt all the shit that you would throw out, and you too, because you're a bear. And let's see, what else? I can turn into shit too. I can turn into a wolf, a little specter wolf, gets my run speed on. Also, Farsight, way underrated in my opinion. I can see what the shit you're doing like miles away. Is it OP? No, but it's fucking neat.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because you said gets my run speed on. What the fuck? Who says that? Wow.
Literally.
Wow, literally. You both went the Jack of all trades class.
To be fair, that's everything in WoW, I'm thinking.
Now it is, yeah. But I mean, you both went the guys that could do a little bit of everything. I did not think of Druid. I gotta give the point to O'Brien. Druid.
I can be everything. And like I can't, like you said, you bear form, but at the end of the day, you can just do everything.
It would have been a definitive answer, yes, O'Brien, if you would have said I could turn into a bird, because you could just fucking fly away from everything.
About the bird. But I could turn into every animal.
Yes, I did not think of Druid. I should have almost nixed Druid, but I didn't think of that. That was the one class I was like, I want to see if they go priest, a mage, rogue.
I was gonna say priest at first. I thought like I could heal and be a shadow and have all the healing to resurrect people at the same time, fucking rain fire them things. But I can't tank.
Right.
I'm like, well, I could do a pally. Fuck pallies.
Right.
Be a fucking bear, dude.
When in doubt, be a bear.
When in doubt, always be a bear.
That was a good one. I knew. Damn it. Now I'm mad at myself because I didn't nix Druid. I kind of fucked you on that one. I didn't mean to.
That happens.
We both were thinking for a long time.
Yeah, you were.
And I was thinking about a mage because I was a mage, but I'm like, I need a lot of help to be a mage.
Which, kind of not necessarily keeping with WoW, but MMOs in general actually is my question is MMO related. More important aspect to an MMO, the experience grind to max level or the gear grind at max level?
More important? Important how?
More important, I guess, for the fun of the game.
Okay, fun of the game.
Oh.
I'm going to have to say the thing at the end of the game.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously, you're thinking like I was waiting.
Yeah, no,
I fuck another answer.
I'll choose the other one.
I know. I'm just like, what are you gonna take? No, I go to WoW as a good example. Don't get me wrong. The grind up to it could be tedious, and if it's tedious, it's terrible. But at the same time, I feel like you spend a much smaller amount of time grinding compared to the massive amount of time you spend in game. And usually, what's exciting is where do I go in game? Do I get purples? Do I get epics? What are you doing your daily quest? You're doing all that stuff all towards in-game. Everything's built toward in-game. Even if you're not a competitive person, you're going to do your lore, your side quest, your achievements. Everything's for in-game. It's an in-game. MMOs in a lot of ways are catered towards the in-game thing. So to me, if I have a real crappy in-game, even if the grind there was fun, now I've finished the race, so I guess I start over again and grind again. I want to have the grinding is setting the stage, whereas the in-game stuff is really seeing what it can do.
You're right in a lot of aspects that the end of the game is where people are going to spend most of their time. The problem is you're forgetting one thing, your first time playing through the game. You didn't want to hurry through the end game. You wanted to experience it, especially somebody like you who loves the lore, who loves to read the quest, who loves to play the game for what it is. It's a game that I want to play through to the end. That first time you played through, it wasn't a 20-minute thing like it is now. You know, I'm starting at level 30 and I bust through to 90 in a weekend or something like that. Now, or the first time you play it, especially back in vanilla, when we're talking about World of Warcraft specifically, you got to experience all the different zones, and you're like, I'm not old enough to go to that zone yet, old enough as level-wise. And when you stepped into that world, you're like, oh, fuck yeah, it's time to kill some shit, you know? That was a cool feeling. So there's a lot of nostalgia that you do get to experience when you go back and create character 2 and 3 and 4. Like, back at South Shore, killing noobs, you know? So I think while the end game may be what people focus on, I still think that it's extremely important to have the path there be very cool, engaging, and interesting.
Okay, this is tough. Because you both brought up great points. There's lore in both the beginning and then the end game. I do think the lore is a little higher in the previous two max level grind in a way, because at that point you're still kind of learning like you said, your first time through, you're kind of learning it. Though I will say that the thing I would have liked to hear JJ say, Jeremy, is the excitement of getting new skills each level. That would have been something that I would have liked to hear. And O'Brien, I would like to hear you say something more about the social aspect of the game, because that's really whenever your big social interactions come up. But I will give the point to O'Brien here.
You cutter!
I thought, it's tough. Not to mention, after the first... Where do I go? Request helper?
Yeah, oh God.
Yeah. His grind was, okay, I gotta get 9 of these things. Now, granted, we all did that to an extent. I really like going back after being powered and play all the quests. I thought that was a lot of fun. That Lore Master achievement, I actually had a blast with.
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I can't help
it.
You're right. I got into... I'm an achievement whore. And I'm also a lore whore.
And you're also just a whore.
You know, when you put it that way, you're completely correct. So fuck off.
All right, so we're moving to the last game. What are the score totals?
My score is easy to calculate as usual.
Yeah, I'm 4. You're 2. He is 0.
So we could tie. That's it.
Correct.
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
I can't win. You can't win.
Well, I could technically tie you. Well, I guess I would give him. Well,
he still wins.
Yeah, it still gives him the victory. So you guys can tie and then theoretically give me the victory.
All right. So we're moving on to Guess That Game, you jackass.
There's a lot going on right there.
Is there?
I feel like it's fucking basketball. In the north-southwest
north, south, east, west, north, southwest.
That's one of the funniest scenes from that fucking movie.
I love that movie. Everybody.
Basketball. I just watched that again
Basketball
2 weeks ago.
So good.
It's a great movie. I watched so much of that movie.
So we've said that like 2 or 3 times. As we were talking in the week off that we took, I noticed as I was editing it that every single time we talk about an old game, we're like, I played so much of that game. It just seems like that's our go-to phrase.
I think we need to work that into making it a segment on the show.
That's in your retro
so
review.
Much of that game.
I played so much.
Yeah, that's gonna be our name of our retro game. I played so much of ... whatever game.
Hello Kitty or something.
Yeah. So O'Brien took the last point.
So it's Guess That Game, you jackass.
Who's gonna be the jackass today?
Sizzler. Okay. This game takes place in both the present and the past.
What system is it on?
All kinds.
Okay. Both the present and the past.
This is a specific game, not game series.
The game series would be acceptable.
Okay. I'm good.
Yep.
Okay. It takes place in multiple locations throughout the series.
Okay.
Fuck it, if I'm going on a swing. Civilization.
No.
God damn it.
The next category would help you. It's got a lot of stealth and a lot of sandbox.
Assassin's Creed.
That's correct.
All right. That's fine.
Ha! Uh-oh.
See, the funny thing is I actually helped myself there.
You did, like last time you fucked yourself.
Well, no, I mean, I helped myself, though, because...
No, I said like last round. Last time you answered one when you should have not answered.
You're like, I can't get another point. And then you're like, I get another point.
Competitive spirit coming out.
It's tough. It's tough to turn it off.
Okay. My game has been on multiple platforms. I really can't nail down one specifically because it's been on like Nintendo. It's been really kind of a little bit on everything.
Okay.
Fair enough.
First clue is it is a first-person shooter. I'll give you the genre. I'll take the easy way out.
Okay.
I know that doesn't narrow it down.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't help at all.
Okay. Second clue. You fight aliens.
Also, not really super helpful in nailing down the first-person shooter where you fight aliens.
Ready?
Yep.
This is going to go really fucking fast, by the way. Third clue. Balls of Steel.
Duke Nukem.
Oh!
Good job.
Andrew with the steal.
Was that on Nintendo?
Yeah, it was on Nintendo 64.
Okay, no, it was on 64. I just didn't, when you said Nintendo, I was thinking like original Nintendo. I was just like,
it was downloadable on, I think, Xbox Arcade too.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Alright, I guess
so
that makes it my game.
yeah,
Yes,
your
sir.
game. I got lost in what we were doing.
I can't imagine that. My game is. It was on. It's kind of hard to describe the platform it was on. It was on one specific platform, but it was kind of on other platforms too. I mean, it was in forms, I guess. That's just kind of like I know that's
So it was on multiple platforms, is what we're saying.
Sort of.
Oh God, here we go.
I mean, no, it's not. When you hear the game, you'll understand why that I had to be as obscure as I'm being. And my first clue is still kind of along those lines. It was on other platforms, but it was more. It inspired other games on other platforms.
Okay.
I mean, in a way that that's where it came.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Fuck. No. Yeah. I'm lost.
This
I feel
game.
like I'm reading the Bible right now.
This game. The fucking Rubik's Cube. This game is, in its original iteration, is based around competition.
Okay. I'm in a wheelhouse. I don't know if it's the right wheelhouse. I am in a wheelhouse.
Any thoughts? I know I'm being a little vague, but it kind of has to be. The third clue, however,
Fucking hell.
the name of the game is derived from the slang term for table tennis.
Ping pong. Wait a minute.
Pong.
Pong. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Wow. I said ping pong.
Honestly,
Technically, I said pong first.
until he said that, I honestly
Was it too vague almost?
no,
Like-
no. I just wasn't thinking like when you said now that like looking back, every step makes sense. It's like a lot of things were taken from that. It's the progenitor.
Well, and also of like all like the Brick Breaker games is kind of what I was thinking from, but also
I wasn't thinking about it that way.
but it's
and
a
then-
completely it's a first competition.
well, and it's also came out as far as like it was on like those little classic games that you would see like the compilations. So it was on other systems, but I
Yeah.
mean it was kind of like the cheap way of doing it. So that was kind of I had to be a little
Yeah.
vague on it, and I knew the last clue would give it away
You said, why did I say ping pong?
because I said slang term for table tennis, which
play some
you were out of sight of the video game.
Well, when you
Well-
said, I was thinking of like the ping pong game on the 360 where you had to like
The
charge it.
Rockstar one?
Yeah.
I didn't even think
That was actually a cool game,
It
by
was
the way.
fun. I own it. It was actually pretty fun.
Really, it was a really neat game because when it first came out, like everybody played that.
Yeah. Fuck you. So it came down to the last point though.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, it was a nail biter.
Not for me. it was a nail biter for me to see who was going to win that game. That wasn't going to be me. So
Oh, Jesus Christ. I played so much of Duke Nukem.
oh,
Yeah. You didn't think I was going that direction. I used it twice. But Duke Nukem 3D in specifics. And we've talked about it a little bit. And I don't know how much did you guys play Duke Nukem a lot?
Honestly, I didn't play that much Duke Nukem.
Really?
No, I played the one on computer when it first came out.
Like 3D?
Yeah, and a little bit of the the Nintendo 64 one, but I never played a ton of them.
The N64 one was just kind of it was a remake.
of the
It
3D
was.
one,
Of the
Yeah.
Duke Nukem 3D. It had some added stuff, a couple added levels, but pretty much was the same game. But Duke Nukem 3D, played so much of that game.
I remember, like, honestly, that was one of not the first games that we played together, but I mean, we played a lot of that game together. More in the fact that we built a lot of levels, which the build system was confusing as fuck, but once you figured it out, it was fucking cool.
It was really innovative.
Good old Ken Silverman. It's the guy that created that build system.
Was it? Wow, the fact that you remember like the name kind of sounds familiar because you just said exactly what it is.
Well, because it was called Build by Ken Silverman. This is the name of the program.
Yeah.
But it was the first, I mean, there was always like Excite Bike. You could create your own course and shit like that. But it was the first game where you could create your entire level. and create a series of levels that when one ended, you started in the next one. And you could actually just like, I never had, blew my 10-year-old mind. I don't know how old I was, but it blew my mind being that young and like, wait a minute, I can make what I want?
Well, yeah, and you were actually able to make movable parts, too. It wasn't just like, here, create an area which you can fight in.
A square room.
It was, you can create sector tags and shit
sector effectors.
Well, there were sector tags, too, but those were more like for labeling, I think.
Yeah.
You knew way more about that. I picked it up from you, but you're like, oh, I'm creating a door. And like, creating a door was fucking, I mean, before you knew how to do it, was tough. I mean,
yes.
you were in like a graphing program. I mean, like what today would be like almost like a CAD program.
Yes, kinda. It was really basic.
Well, yeah.
You had a 2D and a 3D mode, and you had to switch back and forth between them. You could do things in 2D mode that you couldn't do in 3D mode. In 3D mode, it was very convoluted, but it was really cool. And I don't want to spend all the time talking about the build.
The little add-on part of it.
But, although that is what made it, like, fucking hell.
That's my memory of that game.
Although, it was the first game I played where it was really just like, did that stripper just show her titties?
Yeah, it was edgy.
Yes.
It might have been the first game I can think of that was really...
like, pushed the envelope.
Yeah, like, R-rated type, mature type games.
And I remember being a kid and walking up to a stripper and I was like, ha ha, she's dancing, ha ha, being stupid. And then I hit my space bar or whatever and he was like, shake it, baby, and handed her money and she showed her titties. I was like, oh, awesome. And I did that for like 45 minutes.
And they had like the videos playing in the background with like the...
porn. Yeah, it was literally like a chick's face going, making her O face.
Yeah.
I
still know what that looks like in real life.
So that game to me is like, I almost want to say it was my first adult title. Like, I felt like I was like, Mom shouldn't see this. You know what I mean? I
remember this was kind of funny. I don't know. I'm sure you do whenever I say it, but like we were playing over LAN, I guess.
Modem
or whatever.
It's not a LAN.
That's what I meant,
that
modem.
didn't exist.
Sorry, modem. And then like because you had your computers in your kitchen at that time. And then you type NBD to me, or NBW, no bad words.
Oh.
I remember that because we couldn't.
Remember that.
I remember you and your friend Mike used to go NBW. I'd be there and you'd be playing with Mike. You would type NBW because people were around, and if you type NBW, no bad words. That's how I remember that.
That's crazy because that is old MIRC talk. Like from MIRC, like chat rooms, like you'd go into the #teen chat room, and that's when hashtag did not mean hashtag. It was #teen or something like that.
Be careful when you say #teen.
Yeah, phrasing. So
chat rooms.
Yeah, you'd like go into chat rooms, you'd be like, hey, I'm 14 male Indiana,
that was the original troll. I just would go in there and try to say something offensive to watch people get mad. That was so great.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
I can't believe you remember. I could not have said that.
Why? I remember the most random ass shit that.
You do. But Duke Nukem, even though it was edgy and that was kind of its thing, I don't want to say it had a storyline because it had no storyline whatsoever.
No.
It was a good
There's
game,
aliens,
though.
they stole your bitches, and you killed them. That was pretty much it. I don't like about the fact about this game, you couldn't save the girls. You just walk up to them and you press your activate button on them and they'd go, kill me, or something like that, and you couldn't save them. Like, I would have been cool to save bitches. But you had to kill them.
And also, one of the coolest things in the game, too, that in my opinion was way, way ahead of its time, jetpack. You can fly.
Yes.
You can fly that fucking game.
That, and it was like, I know, like Quake and stuff, they had innovative weapons and things like that, but you had a freeze gun where you could freeze somebody and kick them and shatter them. You had a shrink ray where you shrunk people down and you could squash them. And those two guns alone were really fucking neat. You had trip mines where you could put on the wall and they had a laser to go across, and you were playing like 1v1 fucking deathmatch. You'd like try to trap a room and you put a trip mine and then you'd throw a bunch of pipe bombs in there. And then the trip mine would blow up and it'd set off the chain of pipe bombs and blow the dude up, So it was really neat. All the weapons kind of worked together. It was almost like a perfect storm to me for a shooter. And you can download it for free, obviously. But like legit for free. And it's like a remake of it that basically 3D Realms isn't even dealing with it anymore. So people have gone in and they've taken the data, they've remade the game. You can actually download like a graphics pack for it to make it look better and all that kind of stuff. The build is completely redone, so it's kind of like it's not going to crash because you have to open it in DOS. If you guys
that DOS
fucking
box.
DOS.
Oh,
you had to put in the fucking floppy disk or the CD, boot it into DOS. and you had to open up this DOS menu, which would then launch the game. That game, I don't know. I just, that was one of my most nostalgic games, period.
Then you got to live the new one that finally came out.
Come on, man. Duke Nukem Forever.
I remember you talking about like Duke Nukem Forever.
I've been talking about it for a decade.
Because it took like 12 years.
It took 12 fucking years, and they released a pile of garbage.
I remember when you got this game, you're like, dude, I'm so excited for this. That it came out, and you're just like, so I smeared poop on a wall.
Yeah. You could literally pick a turd out of the toilet and write on the wall with it. Like, cool. It had a bunch of neat little tiny mechanics like that, but a bunch of shitty, stupid mechanics does not make a good game. The actual gameplay was horrific. It was a Halo-esque regenerate my life type thing, and even had a Master Chief suit, whatever they call that shit. I don't know what it's called. The armor that Master Chief wore.
Mjolnir.
Yeah, Mjolnir, whatever.
Mjolnir. I think it's like the man's helmet. Fuck,
I don't fucking know. But they had the armor, and he was like, something like, armor, who needs that? It was a stupid joke. It was a slam at Halo, yet you stole the regenerating health from every other video game ever since you.
And in the time it took you to put out that game, Halo's put out like 5.
That have been massive.
Yeah.
And you put out a fucking turd in a shoebox. I was really, really disappointed. I've never beat it. Don't think I ever will go back and play it.
That's sad, though.
Like, I might, since I own it, I might pirate it just to, like, say I beat it. But it was so just cringe-worthily bad.
You had to force yourself to do it.
Yeah. The jokes were awful.
So was it the mechanics of the shoot? Like,
everything.
Wow.
The mechanics were bad. I don't remember. I don't think you got a jetpack, which was the cornerstone of Duke Nukem.
I do remember you saying that. You're like, where's the fucking jetpack? Because you're like a couple levels in, you're like, I haven't even seen one yet.
And I was waiting for it. I was like, oh, fucking jetpack.
Hollow Duke, maybe?
Yeah, I think you had a Hollow Duke. The multiplayer was an atrocity. It was terrible.
Was this a deathmatch?
Super fast-paced. You died from a shotgun blast. You didn't even know where it was coming from. None of it made sense. It was a clusterfuck. And it was like, you remember the first time you played Nuketown on Call of Duty? You were like, this map is fucking small as shit. I'm dying from every... That's how it was. Except it was worse.
It was that bad, but worse.
So this is this is the first game that we've really brought up that has had an amazing side and then a shit side.
Yeah.
And we said that we would do this. We would bring up games that were both amazing, or we might bring up a game that you should avoid at all costs. Play Duke Nukem 3D. It's not a great game. There's no like aim down the sights or anything like that. When you shoot, the bullets either hit it or they don't. There's no way to know. You shoot your fucking pistol. As long as the crosshairs are aimed, it's probably going to kill it, but you may miss a couple shots. It's like, what happened? But back then, you didn't use the mouse to aim.
No.
You used the arrows.
Oh, God.
You had page up and page down that would look up and look down.
I forgot about that.
You had the fucking numpad was how you would, like, if you didn't want your view to look all the way up, you would just use the numpad. He would look up for a second, then when you let go, he'd look back down.
Oh, jeez, man.
You didn't have to aim because there was no reticle, really. You just shot in a direction and you killed stuff. So if there was a guy up, you would just platform up to him to kill him. You would never aim up like that. It was almost an impossibility. Of course, the new ones now will use the mouse. The remake, you can use the mouse. So it's not awful. But, my God.
I just remember also, too, in Duke 3D, the last fight being the most ridiculous fight in the entire world.
Yeah, that was before there were huge, ridiculous fights. The bosses were like 20 times your size. And he was on a football field.
For no reason, really.
Yeah, I don't really get why there was you took a humongous elevator up to the center of a football field, and he was there.
But that ridiculousness actually kind of ties into the... I mean, like,
that's what created the game. It created all those niche inside jokes with the Duke Nukem 3D community. And that's... I just remember, like, taking the Devastator, which was the dual RPG style thing you got. And it was like, and it shot out rockets that fast. And you would just unload your entire fucking stash of rockets into this guy, and he wouldn't die. And he would kill you in a couple shots. And it was not like, I respawn. You died. You started over, and you were like, God damn it. This fight is fucking stupid. But I was saying he's on a football field. He took up, like, if he were to lay down, he would be the entire length of the football field. I mean, he was seriously ridiculously tall, and 3 of them would have filled the football field. So he's huge, and my God. So
if somebody goes back and is going to play it or experience for the first time, are you going to recommend them to do the 3D just straight up how it is, or the remake?
The remake, because it won't translate well if you try to go back and play the original. That
makes sense.
Well, you couldn't go back and play the original because most computers today that you can't run a DOS emulator and run
that DOS box.
Yeah, exactly. It's
works.
A pain in the ass to use.
It is. I do for a few games, but it's a tough thing to do.
Fucking DOS box. Whoever created that needs to have their house burnt down. Like, you should just recreate the software. Just recreate the game. I know they were trying to say, oh, you can play all your old DOS games. Just wait for somebody who's also a fan of that DOS game to remake it. I never had luck with it. Like, I want to play Jezball or something. Well,
there are people who want to play. Did we tell Tyler to play Jezball that one time?
Yeah, because he asked what it was. Because we were like, oh, this game's like fucking Jezball or something.
Jezball?
No, I mean, you understand, the people that are on the internet
PC
today are 15.
That though, right?
No, not everyone. It's like Windows 95 or some shit like that.
Oh, the best Windows. I don't really know.
No, Windows 95 was a joke. 97 wasn't bad.
I remember Windows 98.
2000 was really good, actually. XP, a lot of people shit on. Ever since then, like, Windows 7 has been the thing. Vista was horrible. I don't know why we're talking about fucking operating systems, but 3.1, that motherfucker.
Prince of Persia.
No start button in that bitch.
No.
So it's like Windows 8 then.
Yeah. Except there's a start button now.
Yeah, no, there is after the update.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So anyway, Duke Nukem. I played so much of that game.
I like
the bookend.
I like the bookend. I do like the bookend. I like it.
I don't know. Any upcoming game? We actually missed an upcoming game. I thought there is a game coming out, and we don't have the iPad or whatever here to talk about it. But Fable Anniversary is coming out, or just came out, or something like that.
And what is that going to be? Is that going to be just a rehash of the old ones?
I think it's an HD remake, but that's a pretty big title.
And the weird thing is, I didn't play much Fable. Actually, I played very, very little Fable.
Really?
So this might be something I might look into. Actually,
yeah, it's a really good cool game. The balance of good and evil. It's one of those games where it was super innovative, and by the time you got to Fable 2 and 3, they were good games, but you kind of knew. Okay, if I do bad stuff, I turn bad. If I do good stuff, I turn good.
What just got dirtier?
What platform are they coming out? Or is
I would assume Xbox One.
Okay,
I don't know. It might be released on PC. I would doubt it, but it might be. I don't know. And Thief is coming out in the next couple weeks. So that's apparently like a sneaky fucking kill shit type game, which I'm definitely going to play.
I want to play. I think I played Thief on the original Xbox.
I don't remember. Is it a remake too? I don't know.
I think it's a sequel, right?
I don't know. It's just called Thief.
We had a question in the mailbag about the new Thief game.
Yeah, but I didn't know. Is there an old Thief game? You know what I mean?
There is an old. I think it's like Thief 4 or some shit.
Is it nice?
The one that's coming out is just called Thief. So I don't know. I don't know much about it. I just saw it and I read a little bit about it. And I was like, that sounds like I would fucking want to play that.
If it's anything like the original one that I played, and when I say it's on Xbox, then it's something that's right up your alley, especially sneak around, stabbing people and
nice
shooting bows.
And here in a couple episodes, we're gonna have a shit ton of games to talk about.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna need to expand a little bit the upcoming game section.
Get into the meat of February.
It's actually March. March is when it's gonna explode. So here in about 4 or 5 episodes, we're gonna have a shit ton of stuff to talk about,
which would be exciting.
Stick of Truth, Dark Souls 2, fucking Elder Scrolls Online's getting ready to drop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Smite will launch technically.
Smite will launch. A bunch of big games.
Be exciting.
The spring titles.
Yep.
Spring chickens, if you will. So anyway, guys, that's gonna do it. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us. We always enjoy it.
We'll catch you next time.
We'll catch you next time on the Gamegasm podcast. Deuces.
Peace out.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week on the Gamegasm podcast.